Hello and welcome to a video with me, Raindale, and today we're taking out the brand new winter unit to battle, and that is Winter Viktora. And disclaimer, right now she's still bugged, which means she doesn't use the skills in her Paladin subjob. So we'll be running her as a dual gunner subjob for the purpose of this video as a AOE tank buster. And it's a really interesting build that I found very fun to use. So let's quickly go over her strong points. I won't do a full review because I've done that in the Should You poll. So if you want to see the review, just go back and watch that video. In terms of strong points, what we're trying to leverage here is, first off, her 100% defense penetration. So we'll be using the Platinum Bow and her tune-up passive, which means that if she uses the target buff, she'll just ignore defense entirely for 3 turns. Then we're also leveraging her innate bulk. So we'll be making sure that her defense is really high and fighting physical attackers so she can take a couple hits. Then she's able to pierce barriers and to attack in large AOE. And the idea is we want her to move forward and just use those dual gunners AOE attacks, or use Dispel Spread and Barrier Breaker Arrow to deal with tanks and the enemy backline. So that's what she will be doing. So let's quickly look at our team comp. Alright, so let's begin by taking a look at our team for today. And the way we're built is for Winter Viktora to just be able to withstand the enemy assault. She has 50 defense and almost 5000 HP, so she's able to take a lot of physical punishment. We're using Holy Knight's Protection for extra defense, Golem, we're also using Odin, and then Paladin's Guard. And if that was not a Viktora showcase, I would be using something other than Bells, so she could use target on turn 1, get to 100% defense penetration, and then do some other stuff. But without Bells, she doesn't use that many abilities, and it's not as fun just to see her showcase. And then one more thing, she only has 70 bravery, so she could be hitting much harder than what you'll see in the video. I'll quickly go over her stats if you want to build something similar. So that's it for her. We have Nivlu as a time mage / damage support, and the main reason she's there is because she's able to support us with damage, possibly taking out the barriers, so that Winter Viktora can use AOE attacks, because she's running the dual gunner subjob with those very high, very large AOEs. I guess I could go back and show those. So horizontal shot and split shot. We did not put any range up passives here so that she moves forward and actually gets the chance to use those abilities. So Nivlu will be casting haste and making sure that Winter Viktora actually gets in the middle and gets to do her job. Then we have Miranda there. And she's also time mage because it just has so much utility. She's somewhat tanky, less than Winter Viktora, however, and she's there to provide time magic and a little bit of attacks with jamming trust. But I did not build her towards a lot of magic. She even has a physical attack vision card because I want our whole team comp to support Winter Viktora more than anything. I could switch things around and make Miranda stronger, but then she might be overshadowing the rest of the team, and that's not what I want. One final thing is we'll be avoiding magic attack teams at all costs, because while Winter Viktora has been built to be a great physical tank, she'll go down to magic attacks very quickly. She only has 6 defense and nothing else to protect her from those. So we'll really be targeting physical teams. So without further ado, let's find a match. Alright, we're fighting an enemy Agrias, Kain, and Winter Viktora. And that's interesting. They have some defense penetration on their team, so they might be able to hit us pretty hard. But they're also a team with a lot of innate bulk as well. So I want to see kind of which team out-tanks the other and manages to take the win. One thing I'll say is Kain and Winter Viktora on the enemy team should have similar movement, which means we might get a chance to hit them with our AoEs, and that's really what I'm hoping. to just be able to hit them both, or maybe all three of their units with a single ability. So they begin with Slow Arrow. That's not too hard. She only did 900 damage here, so we're looking pretty good. Again, that's 50 defense going there. And we might have gotten the block off, I'm not sure. And theirs is probably built more towards damage, because she goes down in one hit. I like my characters more tanky, so she just takes the Taunting Blade to the face, 1000 damage, still looking pretty healthy, and ready to be quickened in for an AOE attack. No, she chooses the Barrier Break, which does decent damage, nothing incredible, but I'm happy that Agrias is taking damage at all, usually. And then, with the chain, we end up taking her out. Now, Kain hits us for 2000, and that's a full build Kain with Demon Wall on. He's really, really strong, but she has a ton of defense. So, I'm very, very happy with her performance here. She was our tank, while still being a very decent range damage dealer. Let's find another match. Okay, this time I just love the matchup. We're fighting a full water team, benefiting from two team master abilities, so Ramada and Winter Viktora. And they have very high offense vision cards and gear, so we might be in a bit of trouble. We do have the advantage of having Nivlu's elemental advantage over the other team. But it's really a question of whether our Viktora can withstand the enemy attack long enough to to let the other guys do damage. And we have one major disadvantage, and that's the fact that their Winter Viktora is built to have full defense penetration. So she might just be able to outright kill us if she gets the chance. Now, I'm hoping that we'll be able to take their attacks or take them out. And that's what happens. Great. So Nivlu's able to take out the biggest threat that the enemy team has on us. Now we get to see a rare sight. Not many people have Winter Ramada to do this. And it one-shots Miranda. But now she doesn't have any more AP. And as you can tell, we didn't take that much damage from Glaciela. So a split shot deals more than half their HP. Now we take one of them out. Glaciela uses Triple Piercer to no avail, just does a bit of damage to us, and we take her out. So we did tank their assault pretty well here. That was very good. Okay, so we're fighting Duane, an opposite Winter Viktora, and Frederica. And here, we have the disadvantage of the Elemental on Frederica, and then the fact that we're built with a lot of defense, and the opposite Winter Viktora will ignore most of that defense. But I am curious to see how Duane will hit us, because he hits really hard, but doesn't have a ton of defense penetration unless he uses his own buff. So we should be able to withstand their attacks pretty well. Also, Frederica does not have defense penetration built in, so that's also to our advantage. So both Winter Viktora use bells and move forward. And it's always fun when I showcase a unit to have her in both sides, because you get to see them perform well and perform more poorly. So it's kind of the best of both worlds in that regard. So we get hasted, which means we should act first on the next turn. And then theirs is clearly not built for tankiness, because she goes down in one hit. We're removing Duane's buff, and that's pretty huge, because we've just removed his defense penetration. So now he comes back and hits us, but we're not dead. We tanked a hit from Frederica, then an attack from Duane, and she's a ranged attacker, right? She's a character that's built for damage and offense more than anything else, but she can withstand quite a bit of punishment. So that was pretty good. She was the frontliner for us. She didn't get to do that much damage because the disabled went on, but she lost 2 whole turns there being disabled, so she would have had time to hit the enemy team back quite a bit. And then we get disabled again. This match is looking very unlucky in terms of the disables the enemy team gets to land on us for. Yeah, they're just being lucky, but we should still have a pretty good chance to win, just because she's alone against 2 of us. and while she has elemental advantage on Miranda, it's still a 2-on-1. So we eventually kill Frederica and manage to win the match. Okay, so it was a tough one, but we tanked the initial assault from the enemy and managed to win thanks to the amount of defense on Winter Viktora. So let's find another match now. Okay, Winter Showdown against Winter Vinera, but also Agrias and Halloween Little Leela. I am very afraid of what Halloween Little Leela can provide to their team, because she can possibly one-shot Winter Viktora, who doesn't have any spirit or a lot of magic resistance, as we saw in the builds. So if she's hit by magic, she is not going to be as tanky, and she's built to withstand physical punishment. But I'm curious to see our damage against a character like Agrias, who's just very resistant in general. Now, because we're running bells, we don't have 100% defense penetration unless we get another turn to buff, but I'm still giving us a pretty good chance here. So Halloween Little Leela is not in range to attack us so far. And this match showcases one very important thing in this map, and that's having jump 2. So everyone on our team is in position to fight. So Agrias uses a huge taunting spell, taunting blade, sorry, for only 1000 damage. So we're still very healthy here. That's really nice. I enjoy seeing our forward damage dealer take a hit like that without much trouble. So she hits back for a decent damage on Winter Vinera, but doesn't hit the enemy tank that hard. Okay, still, that's pretty good, because she's able to just take hits like a pro, and she's still alive doing damage after several hits. So I would say she's still doing a pretty good job. Now, Aggressive Sentinel, it might take a short while. They'll probably revive someone with Halloween Little Leela. So it's still not a guaranteed win. Ah, there we go. So magic attacks, thousands of damage, we are out. And that's our build is really tailored towards being able to withstand physical. So I was expecting that the second Halloween Little Leela hits us, we would go down. That's exactly what happened. So no surprise there. Hopefully our two guys can take Halloween Little Leela out, but I'm not necessarily counting on this being a win. What I wanted to see was how much tankiness we could get, and in that regards, it was a pretty good showcase. They're also getting some pretty lucky dodges in, because they are not running a lot of evasion gear. They only have one evasion card, but then they also have the Typhon card on Halloween Little Leela, which might explain why she's getting all this. She's getting dodge. She gets so many dodges. I can speak. Then we eventually lose the fight, but I was pretty happy with her performance tanking hits. It took 3 actually hard-hitting abilities to take our Winter Viktora out of commission. Alright, so I think the battles we've seen today were in line with what we were expecting. We managed to tank physical attacks pretty well, and then deal very decent damage back. Magic attacks took us out in one hit, and the rest of our team was not built to be incredibly strong, so we could showcase Winter Viktora properly, and I think that went well. I don't have Eldira, but my opinion is if we had been using Eldira instead of Miranda, our team would have been even stronger, because we would have had the option of healing Winter Viktora back up, and while it usually took 2 or 3 hits for the enemy teams to take her out, she would have just remained there with healing and continued doing her AOE damage. If you do have Eldira and pulled for Winter Viktora, please try that team out and let me know how it goes, because I really want to see it in action. That was it from me today. Hopefully you had a good time and found this interesting for you to possibly try as well. If you enjoyed your time, please like and subscribe. It will make it more likely for those kind of videos to appear in your feed in the future. And then thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.